Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show you exactly how you can be able to manage your finances as a small business owner who has no any education and knowledge about accounts and everything, but you can be able to track your finances and be able to see a breakdown of everything that you need when it comes to paying your bills and also how much you need to pay yourself at the end of the day. So on this breakdown, I'm going to show you using my Google Sheet, which you can get a link to it down here on the descriptions below that will help you to showcase everything that you need. So in this our Google Sheet, my business is all about a small salon business that I have been running for the past 5 months and 6 months, and as you can see, there is everything that you need here that I have been doing. And this is the month that I have just decided to show you guys and show you exactly how I budget and how I'm able to come up with everything and show you everything. So like you can see from the beginning, we have something like rent, things to do with salary, insurance, and all these things. If you have anything that you need to add when it comes to your business, you can always expand this and add if there is something missing here on this sheet. So you can be able to edit and add everything. And the good thing about this Google Sheet, it is a done for you, to mean that when you actually write everything, the calculation just comes automatically. You don't have to go through calculating. And also there's a lot from this Google Sheet you can be able to see. We have things like products, services, dividends, all this. There's also a section of business emergency fund, future expansion. There are other things I'll be telling you why I have not been putting, and all these others that you can see. So let's get started. So first thing is first, as we are going to be calculating here, for this actual month of July, this is how much I had budgeted for, and this is the actual amount I actually used. So this is my budget for the month. For the month of July, for the month, hebu endeni mcheze, unapiga kwa kelele. So for the month of July, my rent is always consistent, so I pay a rent of 10,000. That is always consistent. I do not have to be adding anything. But when it comes to the places that I have written nil, this is because I don't pay all this. So things to do with salary, I do not pay people salary because it's a commission-based business. So I'm working in it's a salon, so people get paid on commission on a weekly basis. So I don't put that extra money of salary. Things to do with insurance, I have not yet insured my business. Loan payments, there is no loan I'm paying because I started this business with absolutely the money I had saved. And also software subscriptions, also I do not have any subscriptions in my business. It is literally just I don't have to pay for anything like websites and all this because I do not have a website yet. But when it comes to license and permits, that is where I will start by saving. So I pay a permit of 10,000 Kenyan shillings on a yearly basis. So I always target to save at least 1,000 every month, but at times things may happen and I may not be able to save. So I had budgeted for 1,000, but I was only able to save 300 Kenya shillings because I I felt like it's really not in high demand, because when I look at the amount I've been saving, and so far I know that I can be able to reach that 10,000 if I'm able to make extra money in these remaining months. And then for marketing and advertising, I put nil because I market my business on TikTok, so I do not use any ads, or I don't pay for any ads. I just use it organically. So on this 6,000, that is where I get all the inventories and supplies. So I'm talking about everything I may need for my business to run, things to do with hair, things to do with shampoo, things to do with all the things I need for this business to run. So that those are the things I put under inventory and supplies. And for the inventory, I had set 6,000 Kenya shillings because I felt like I will be needing a lot of things. But this month I have not been able to sell most of the hair. So the hair was really on a low budget because I have not sold so many hair. So that's why I will not be buying a lot of hair this month. I still have a lot in stock, so I'll just be restocking a bit of it. But the other things to do with the things that I need, things like the things I may be needing in my business. So I'm talking about this hairspray. I'm talking about things to do with food, hair food. Hope you guys can see. Yeah, those are things that I'll be needing to run my business. Things like shampoo, all these other things I'll be needing. So that means I will not be restocking a lot of hair because hair is the one that takes a huge chunk of my money. And for this month I'll not be buying a lot of it. I'll just be restocking a few of them. And then as we are heading to shipping and delivery, I'm not doing any shipping, so that will be nil. When it comes to utilities, so I had set a budget of 3,000 Kenya shillings for utilities, but my budget is at 1,500 because utilities is things to do with water bills and electricity. And this month the electricity was at 1,200 and water bill was at 300, so it's 1,500. I'm not paying a lot also in that area. Another thing is on taxes. I'm not yet paying taxes because my business is not registered with the KRA. That is our tax for our country, Kenya. Then miscellaneous, I had budgeted for 1,000 bob, but I was able to just use how much? 500. Yeah. So that's how much I was able to use. So this is just a breakdown of my everything that I need for this month, everything that I'll be spending. So like you can see, it was coming to a total of 31, but I've only been able to spend 17,300. That is how much I'll be spending on the business. So it's not, it's at least on the good target, because at times you may find yourself most of the time going beyond the budget, and that can be very tricky for you at times. So when it comes to product sales, service income, dividends, and others. So for me, I just deal with product sales and income, service income. I have not been writing because I have not been tracking how much I make in terms of service, how much I make in terms of product. But I think I need to start tracking because it's very important for my business. Because most of the products I'm just selling, it's hair, so it's easy to track the hair. When it comes to service, it's easy to track how much I've made in terms of the services I'm offering. So I'll be doing that. I have been sleeping on my side, and that is not good. And when it comes to business emergency, all this future expansion equipment, I have not yet saved in these months, because for the last 6 months of my journey to starting my business, most of the time I was not making a lot of money. The money I was making was literally just enough for me to pay rent and utilities. And it has been a bit difficult because I have had to go back into my pocket to be able to add other stuffs like buying things for supplies, utilities. And for this month, it's when I've been able to make extra that I can be able to even set aside for utilities. So that is why I have not been able to set aside money for these other things, because I was not making enough to even save up for these other things. And that is normal, because when you're starting a business, most of the time it takes time before you can actually see the results that you need to see. So if you're a small business person, that should not be a reason for you to feel like you need to quit your business or feel like you are exhausted with your business. No, it is just you need to be able to do what you can do. If you need to just start by paying the bills, start by paying the bills. Give yourself 1 year. If the money can be able to start coming in, that is when you can start paying and saving for things like emergency fund. So like you can see, in the month of July, that is where I've been able to save 1,500 shillings for my emergency fund. And then I've also set aside 500 shillings for equipment and upgrading and all this. So these other things, I don't feel like they are really important. So let's say marketing, I still am not yet planning to be paying for adverts. Loan and prepayments, I'm not yet paying for any loan. And future expansions also, yes, I'm planning to expand, but not immediately. So I feel like that can still wait and I can still give myself time. So here also the third one is personal emergency fund. So this is after you have paid yourself some of the money that you need to set aside, medical, retirement, because your business needs to pay you this. So if your business is making enough for you to be able to set aside money for these things, it is also an added advantage for you. So you do not have to go, you can be able to use this Google Sheet and just write how much you can be saving from your business for personal emergency fund, medical, retirement, some of the sinking funds that you want to save up for, and all these other things. But like I said, my business has not been making good money. It has not been able to make money that can be able to do all this. But at least for this month, I have been able to make enough to pay rent, to buy utilities, and to even pay myself. So for this month, I have been able to pay myself 5,000 Kenyan shillings, because out of the total amount of money I made, it was 25,000 for this month. And I have been able to, after removing everything, I was remaining with 5,000 Kenyan shillings, and that is what I'm going home with. Yeah. So if you're a small business person, or if you are just beginning in business, I will really, really encourage you to have a Google Sheet like this one. It will really help you, and you can get the link to it on the description. Because when you're able to track your finances, when you're able to know how much you are making, how much you need to set aside, how much you need to set aside for your business, for yourself, then that is how you can be able to start seeing the results coming in, and you can start seeing growth in your business. But if you just you are literally running your business like a kiosk, that is where you will never see the progress of your business, because you'll never be able to track your money. Like for me, when I look at, when I can be able to look from the month when I started and to be able to track up to now, most of these things, some of them I had budgeted, like from, let's say, from the month of January till June, I was not able to make any money that I could say I could pay myself, because all the time when I budgeted, at times it will go beyond. So I will only make money enough to pay rent, money enough to set aside for things like utilities, and to set aside money maybe for this my license. But most of the time the money for you, for supplies, money for miscellaneous had to come out of my pocket. But now I can be able to know and track, this is how much I have made, and this is how much needs to go here. So if you're a small business person and you're wondering, how can I pay myself? Where do I get started? How do I save this money? Where do I save it? And all these things. You will get a link to the video that I created on how I was able to come up with paying myself, and where I save my money, and what are some of the financial decisions I have placed that have helped me to actually see results in my finances. So I hope you are going to take advantage, grab yourself this Google Sheet, get started in understanding your finances as a business person, track your finances. This is something that will help you to know when the year comes to an end, you will go back and see how has your business been progressing? Have you been making any income, anything progressive, or have you just been uh, making losses? You can be able to see if this is a business worth your time, or you just need to go and move on to the next video, to the next business. Yeah, I'm all about videos. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video till this far. But if you want to be able to see my monthly budget planning, so I'm talking about how I'm able to budget my month, the money I use on a monthly basis in my home now, not from a business, in my home. Because apart from just this small business, I'm also a content creator, meaning there's some money I make out of content creation. And if you just want to see the breakdown and everything, make sure you watch the next video. The link to it is down here on the descriptions below. But till then, see you, and keep track of your finances, guys. Keep track of your finances. It will help you.